Hello, everyone. This is Out of the Box Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Andre. I'm here with my co-host, Bradley Powers, and we have a special guest tonight, Dedrick Hilton. How you doing, Dedrick?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. Long time. I haven't spoke to you for a while.
Yeah, man.
How's everything going? All right?
Man, yeah, it's going good. I just been on the move. I had opened up a dojo,
Oh, okay.
so that's what's been hogging my time and just negotiating some new projects and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, so as you can see, everyone, our mystery guest is Professor, I'd like to add, Dedrick Hilton Bay, Doctor of Parapsychology, also a Freemason. And I'd like to say thank you for joining us at short notice. Pleasure to have you near us.
Hey, not a problem.
We were going to discuss, I was saying parapsychological warfare. Dedrick is saying paranormal warfare, where are our thoughts our own? Are our bodies? Is the sole purpose of being here on Earth to keep our souls safe and to prevent ourselves and protect ourselves from being evaded by other entities, feeding off our lush? Are we experiencing stress? A stressful life of worrying about money and food on the table? Is that stress incurred upon us to cause us to emit lush so that spirits can actually feed off us? What do you think? Are we at risk of being taken over by another intelligent life forms? What do you think, Dedrick?
Well, you ask a lot right there. When you talked about the stress that people are having with food, living expenses, and so forth, is that some type of some type of energy? There was something that was put out. Let me tell you this: about 5 months ago, I was visiting a church, and the priest there said that the Vatican put this out, saying that in 2024 and 2025 we're going to see a pandemic of mental disorders on the rise and mass depression.
Well, yeah, because they're creating it by design.
Well, there you go. You just hit
Yeah.
you hit it right there, Jim.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's mass produced.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's all by design. It doesn't necessarily have to be paranormal or spiritual. It's just a direct effect.
Yeah, somebody's making money off of this for sure.
Well, yeah. And obviously, I mean, the ones that are in control are the ones with the most money. So,
I as a counselor and therapist and stuff, I have seen the last month or two mass breakdowns with people even close to me that are struggling to make it through the week. There's people with a lot of anxiety.
oh yeah,
Um, a lot of they flip out throughout the week. They're cursing. People are drinking more. Uh, and I would say to anybody that's watching this, because Bradley, you ask an amazing question. Um, One of the things that people got to start doing is you have to. First of all, you need to seek truth. Truth will get you through this storm of lies.
right.
Two, don't focus on what other people are doing, because the people I know that are like having these breakdowns, they're on social media and looking at other people posting themselves on vacations, trips, buying new cars, and this is tearing up their self-esteem and their mental health.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And it's for real as well, and it's hard to prove as well. If you are invaded, possessed, or under attack from another entity, it's quite difficult to prove, unless someone knows you well, and you're changing your lifestyle, changing your character, you're becoming darker, your thoughts are becoming darker, you're experiencing negative energy.
Well, they're doing that without spirituality, without paranormal activity. They're doing that direct.
Right.
I mean, they're doing that by design. In other words, how many of the large food processing plants have been destroyed by fire? Right.
Right.
About 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago, there was about 22 of them that caught fire in 1 month. Now, do you think that's coincidental?
Not at all. That's why I said somebody's making power there. Because what's the flip side that happens now that these fields and everything and the plants are being destroyed? What's the flip side to it?
Well, the flip side of that is that's what drives the food prices up that most people aren't going to be able to afford to pay. Right?
Right.
So that in turn works on their psyche, and now they're getting upset. They don't know what to do, right? They're getting nervous. You know, if they can't afford to go out and get something to eat, they lose their job or whatever.
Right.
You know, they're going to go out and do something they wouldn't normally do just to survive, just to get something to eat.
Absolutely,
You know?
I absolutely agree. Well, like I said, somebody's making money off the our pain and hurt. Like every time I go to Walmart across street, I live across the street from a Walmart, and every time I go over there, the city police is there all day long because people are eating food in the shelves and everything. Now,
Right.
I would say we have seen this economy go to crap, and you're being gaslighted by the government, which I think is actually somewhere down the line could be tied to some evil, mystical, toxic force. They're gaslighting the public by telling them this is the best economy. Jobs are booming, but people can't find good paying jobs. They're getting fired and laid off every day. Jobs
Well,
are not responding.
that's the way it is. See, the majority are middle class. See,
right,
and the middle class, they're in the toughest position of all. I mean, they got to pay taxes, right, and all that stuff, and they make it hard. In other words, they make it hard. You have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to have food on the table, a roof over your head, and you can't get ahead. They always set it so that you have to work your butt off, but you can never get ahead.
What's the new retirement age in America? Nikki Haley said she would have got hired. She want the retirement age to be what, 75 or 70 or something? I'm like, man,
Yeah,
you'll be dead.
They're out of their minds. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll be dead. So, I mean, Bradley asked, is there like a evil entity taking over people? I think that when you see this dark energy of mental health that's taking place, like collapsing, it could also resemble possession. Like I see people going through throughout the day, they have highs, these weird lows, and they're in the middle, and they curse, and then they become delusional.
Right.
Delusional about what they are and who they doing and what they're doing.
In other words, it's being induced by the 1%. You know, they're causing stress. That's the idea of it, right? And the more stress that people experience, the worse it is.
Would you say social media is playing a role in it, like Instagram and so forth?
Say that again, Dedrick.
Would you say like social media, like Instagram, is playing a role in the mental instability of people today? Like people that just scroll and constantly entertainers and stuff?
Well, I think that all has an effect. Yeah. I mean, everybody is on the internet, and they see different things. It makes them, think different things. But what is detrimental is the stress itself that they're causing. Stress is no good for anybody. You know what I mean? No. So obviously, I mean, the majority of the masses are middle class. So if they're working their butts off, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to have food on the table, a roof over their head, and never be able to get ahead, and it keeps getting worse and worse, so does the buildup of the stress. So,
for example, Indeed just had a mass layoff. For those y'all, Indeed is like a job search site. How the job search site is laying off people that go there to look for work? There to me, there is no more middle class because we are not building a new middle class system because anybody that's 21 to 30 can't afford a house. Anyone that's 21 to 45 can't afford a house with these interest rates. Heck, we can't even afford cars.
And the funny thing is, you never own anything anyway. You can own a house, pay the mortgage for 30 years, have all the equity in it, right? Then
Right.
You're retired now, right? Now you have less income because you're not employed anymore, and you hit a hard spot. You can't afford to pay the property tax. What happens?
There you go. They come get your house.
Exactly.
I was telling somebody that, like, you can't look at what your mortgage rate is for the
So
moment.
the thing is, the bottom line is nothing is free. You really don't own anything, really.
So are you saying we living in the 2030 agenda?
Oh,
Has it arrived early?
say that again. What type of agenda?
Would you say that we live in the 2030 agenda? Has it arrived early?
Oh, that's a question, isn't it? Yeah.
If it hasn't arrived early, it's certainly around the corner.
Because
It's
right
around the
now,
corner. Yeah.
what do we own?
It's happening now. Yeah.
What do we own right now? If you don't pay your cell phone installment rate, if you don't get a free cell phone from the cell phone company, if you don't pay your cell phone installment rate, you don't own that phone until you pay it off.
Right.
They'll shut you off. That means you have no cell phone service.
Right.
Just because you can't afford the rate on the phone, not even the bill itself, but the installment plan to own that phone.
Right.
Christine Rivera says they're not hiring at all anywhere, even though they show they're now hiring signs. So you are right. She totally agrees with you on that. David Nash says, yeah, like Baphomet, through the intent of the elitist followers to change a more material world, social media has a role in this 100%. And David Nash said, it's a brave new world, boys and girls. Cutbacks are part of the process in reducing the workforce for future elite globalist control. Cutbacks.
The Midnight Rider says in the last 9 months there were over 100 plus food plants that accidentally, quote, accidentally, unquote, caught fire and were destroyed. So what does that tell you?
Absolutely right. Would you say that we're living in a dystopia?
Of course.
I believe so too.
And Midnight Rider goes on to say, really, accidentally? They think the people are absolutely insanely retarded. Well, I think a lot of them lack common sense, and they possibly are. I don't know.
Vic Makarov. Sorry.
Oh no, you good. Say what you got to say.
Vic Makarov says, yes, most media outlets are controlled by BlackRock, generally speaking, and one only has to look at who is actually in control of such intuitions. BlackRock, I believe it's Antarctica, there's a massive, gigantic mountain that reaches to the sky. It's called BlackRock, and that's where BlackRock got their name from, what I believe.
I believe that. I believe the dystopia that we're in and stuff is right on track for the full complete session of the 2030 agenda. They're building us up psychologically for it. The truth is absolutely being distorted right now. Absolutely distorted. Now, but at the same time, you're watching the breakdown of celebrities, the people that we looked up to. You're seeing that they're demons themselves. And this is causing mass hysteria because if you're already on the bottom tier of the social economic status and you're watching these entertainers, but you're seeing that they're drug addicts, you finding out things about their sexuality. You're finding out that they're abusing women and stuff live on camera with their wing out and stuff. That messes with certain people's minds when they can't look to entertainers anymore for a break from the hell that they're living in.
Right.
But that's also some people didn't pay their Illuminati bill either, so that's why they're getting their status repoed.
David Nash, Agenda 21 is in place and beginning to operate, definitely moving into a dystopian society.
Absolutely.
Dystopian, yeah. Thank you for sharing that, David Nash and Vic Makarov.
I don't know. I think the government loves us. They love us so much, they love us to death.
Anybody watching, my word of advice, don't trust no political party. What you are witnessing, let me tell you something. Everybody that's watching, let me tell you this. And I'm going to talk from a parapsychological perspective right now. What you are experiencing and witnessing, it's not even an economical situation. It's not. You are witnessing the introduction to the New World Order mentally, spiritually, and psychologically. They just put in micro terms on it. Recession, economics. No, it's not that. It's not that. You are witnessing the new era coming in, and they have to break you down so you can't fight back. That's the whole program. I'm going to break you down. I'm going to put a false term on this to say it's a recession, it's economical issues, it's a Republican thing, it's a Democrat thing. All of them are in on it. All
Yeah,
of them. They're all in on it. They're
yeah,
just
all that
playing.
is a distraction. Yeah. In
Yeah,
other words, that's to have us bicker with each other.
right.
You know,
On the
instead of
minor, on the lower level, and we can never
right.
climb
Yeah.
out.
So in other words, we're over here fighting with each other instead of going against the true enemy, which is the establishment itself.
Absolutely. If you look at the things that Americans or people in the world fight about, it's man-made constructs. Let's just
Right.
take, for example, race, religion, man-made puppet string constructs
Hey, now that
manipulating
you
you.
now that you mentioned race, right? Don't you think calling it the White House, terming it the White House is quite racial?
It's a goddamn
I
White
said,
House. If you call it Blue House, I have to question your eyesight.
Yeah, but that's racial though. That's racial.
No, it's not. It's
they
it's
should
just
call it
what
the
it is.
honky house.
I got on black shoes right now. Is that racial?
They call it the honky house. Yeah,
You know?
So that's a honky house, right?
I
yeah.
won't even call it that. I'll call it the circus house.
No, that's a honky house. That's the white honky house.
Or looking at Kamala Harris' neck, the
Well,
Washington Zoo.
we got a white honky in there right now as president.
I'm not even going down that line with y'all right there and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not even going
yeah.
down that line right there.
Christine Rivera says the entertainment isn't worth watching. They're all promoting evil. I believe we're in a spiritual warfare. That's what I was saying earlier. Spiritual warfare is on the increase. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, spiritual warfare is been on an increase for a rise. And like the Vatican said, like there are paranormal situations that are taking place. That's a fact. That's a fact. I wouldn't put religion on it. Is definitely something spiritual taking place. And like I said, you're seeing a lot of rituals taking place live on TV. A lot of
Yeah.
rituals, like even that situation with Puff Daddy and his girlfriend Cassie, with him kicking her in the hotel hallway. That was a ritual that was being done live on camera. Why would they wait from 2016 to now to show you that? Because that's the psychological ritual taking place. A lot of things that you witness on TV are just rituals.
Yes. David Nash. No, sorry. John Wilkes says, not to mention Hollywood stars are involved with Epstein and using adrenochrome. He's horrified by that.
Yeah, Dedrick, did you know that when they test with that CERN project there, the Hadron Collider, they do rituals every time they're testing that collider.
I believe
rituals.
that.
Yeah, they do rituals. Yeah.
I believe that. I mean, and these rituals are coming in various forms and stuff. What did you guys think about that one thing I sent you with the portal in New York City, where you could see, you could watch and wave at people in Ireland?
Yes, I saw that. I couldn't believe my eyes.
Huh?
I actually didn't. I thought, is this CGI or for real?
What creepy about what they said? The news said some people just don't know how to act. We already had people on both sides doing sexual lewd things in front of the portal.
Yeah.
But think about that. That honestly, That's a portal hidden right there in the public eyes.
Yeah.
You're looking at people in real time, waving at each other and looking at what's going on in New York from Ireland.
Yeah, that's right. And they were saying like, and in Ireland, it was a slum area as well. They're saying like, you know, everybody's drunk and homeless and potless. You know, they picked the wrong location. Yeah, about Ireland, they said they picked Dublin. They picked the wrong location.
And they picked Manhattan for New York.
Yeah, I don't know much about Manhattan. Was that a high class area?
Huh?
Was that a high class area of Manhattan?
Manhattan is pretty uppity. It's a high class area in New York. Period. They don't really have poor areas. It's a pretty uppity area. Like the Trump Plaza is there. Everything is there. Times Square.
So where is this portal in New York?
It was in Manhattan, like Times Square.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they hide in the portal in plain sight, though, like right in front of us.
Rick Macross says, why was Agenda 21 pushed back and remained Agenda 2030 if they're so in control of the masses?
Hold on David Nash.
David Nash says Dedrick is on it 100%. I'll say that again. David Nash says Dedrick is on it 100%.
I'm 100%.
Yeah. David Nash says it's the end of the age. All this chaos is to be expected.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit longer to go for the end of the days.
Well, I don't know, man. Their agenda is to eliminate 95% of the world population, right?
Yeah, in many ways. Because think about this, when we talk about eliminating population, we always think about like mass death, right? But you can eliminate population through social economics.
Yeah,
you can replace people on a census.
There's so many different ways. Yeah, there's so many different ways.
Right. Now you got the bird flu coming, where they telling people not to eat beef. It's already in California, say it's going to melt your brain and stuff. And they say this has high potential to bring back mass lockdowns and mask wearing again and controlling people again.
Yeah, well, that within itself is all by design.
Right, right around election time.
That COVID was nothing but bull anyway.
Oh yeah, that was the dry run. You know, when you were in school and you had the winter school dance, like chorus dance, and you had to wear the little white shirt on the real day of rehearsal. That was just a dress rehearsal, man. We just, you know, we getting ready to get the big whammy coming down on us anytime soon.
Yeah.
Like, think about this. I think that they revved up the inflation to get us to stop talking about aliens.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They're up to something because, you know, another thing that doesn't make sense is we've got an added branch of military to the forces, which is the Space Force, right?
Correct.
So now if they get all this technology and they're guarding all this space and all that stuff, how can they not know whether it's a weather balloon or what the craft is?
Well, once again, here come distorting truth.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, right now, I have $1 million question. This is my question. I wake up every day and I ask about humanity, particularly in the States. Why the hell we haven't revolted yet? What are we waiting for? You watching corporations raping people financially. You're watching our fellow Americans and men worldwide getting abused, because let me tell you something. If it ain't hit your potatoes yet on your plate, it's coming. But why there's not a people rebellion? Well, we can say, that's it. We're done. We're done with the gas price. We're done with the presidents, the governors. Why not?
You see, in order to do that, you'd have to come together as a collective, and that's the hard part.
It goes back to the micro subtitles to keep you distracted.
Right. That's the hard part, see? and so many people just not awakened. You know, I mean, you know, most people they're living in their little bubbles. You know, the 9-to-5 job, food on the table, roof over their head. They go out to get to go out and eat once in a while, watch a movie, stay home, play video games, and they're happy. And that there's nothing wrong with that until their little bubble bursts. But by that time, it's too late.
Well, that goes back until I tell you the people that I've been interacting with. I watch them have breakdown, and then they talk in denial terms to cope with what they're lacking. Like this one mother I was talking to, and she was like, "All I'm worried about is my kids and me, and that's it." And I'm like, "Okay, you're supposed to. They're your kids,
Right?
You're saying this like you're a tough person turning your back on the world. You're not. This is your responsibility, your obligation. You laid up and made these children. You're responsible for them." Then she goes, "Well, my children are grown. They're grown. They know what they're supposed to be doing. You don't know what you're supposed to be doing at 35. How they supposed to be know what they're doing at 15, and the other one is 19. Here comes are you following me with the delusional talk?" And I said,
the teenage years, they're still trying to discover themselves.
Right, but the mom don't even know who they is yet as a person. Right, she's 30 something. So I'm looking at her. I said, "Well, you know, your daughter's not she's not grown yet because you just picked her up from work. She don't have a car. She lives with you. She just got out of high school. She can't buy her own tampon. If this is grown, then I hate to see what a child is."
Yeah.
But that's delusional talk, because I'm sitting there listening to her talk from a therapist perspective. I said, "Oh, okay. This is her coping mechanism to use phrases and terms to compensate for what she's lacking in and seeing what she don't have." And many, many people are starting to do that now. They'll start talking delusional talk to compensate for what they're lacking.
Yeah.
Just, you got to accept truth, everybody that's watching. One thing you need to get you over this hump is truth. And the only way you're going to get the truth, you're going to have to unplug from the matrix.
The truth comes from within.
Yeah. Yeah. Because right now, a lot of people got cables coming out their heads and hooked into many programs right now. I do believe we might be in like a, what they call that, Bradley? A semi reality? Simulation?
Yeah. David Nash says 2033 will mark 2,000 years since Christ. That's the start of the Aquarian age. The age of Pisces will be over. That's his belief anyway. I thought the age of Aquarius was already here. So, when's the age of Aquarius? When does the age of Aquarius begin, Cedric?
They said it's supposed to have started 2020 and then extended a little bit over. I think we're in the age of Aquarius, because the age of Aquarius, they said that you will see like moguls, meaning Hollywood people, start to collapse. They said truth will be revealed, and you're seeing the truth, and that's why you have people having breakdown, because they can't deal with the truth. So I think we're definitely in the age of Aquarius. We're just in the early stages of it. Tighten up. It's going to be a crazy ride.
Age of Aquarius, age of technology, dawning of a new horizon is here upon us now, I believe. Vic Macron says, because the people of America gave full control to Congress.
Yeah, some type of way we gave up something. I can't quite identify where or when it happened, but I don't feel 100% free.
Well, no, we're not. We're being played. We're being played every day.
Every day, by the minute.
We're being played we're being played like a fiddle.
I've got a long comment here from Tiffany Reynolds. She says, I was at a spirit festival yesterday and people were protesting outside. The religious people were saying we should burn the witches and burn those people partaking in the event. They have occult items. We had stuff from the Warrens Museum. We had psychics and mediums and ghost tours. They removed the people. The religious people don't realise they're barking at the wrong people and wrong tree. They dare not disrespect the rich and rich churches. I'm sorry, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, religion is starting to see a major downfall because, I mean, we all grew up in some type of religion aspect. And I talk about God often, but I look at it from a metaphysical perspective, not from dogmatic religious perspective. I look at everything, Judaism, all that from like a metaphysical perspective. And I think when you remove the dogma off of things and you start looking at everything, let's just say, for example, I'm just throwing some religion out there, Judaism, Buddhism, North paganism. And the reason why I say all that, when you start looking at it from a metaphysical perspective, you look at it on a greater grand scale of how humanity could be connected as one into something more beautiful. But when you add dogma into it, you get what Miss Tiffany just talked about.
Yeah, that's all by design as well. I mean, religion, I believe most of it is all about money, power, and control.
Oh, yeah, they don't care about the people, because look at how many homeless people are struggling on the street today. Where the churches at? The churches are on every block and every corner. Why are they not going out there and doing evangelism? Who are you evangelizing to? Who are you a missionary to with all these guys sleeping in damn Walmart shopping carts across the street? They're literally sheep. Man, you go to Dollar Tree, you got homeless people, you step in to go buy soap, and they're sleeping on the sidewalk in broad daylight. So where are these missionaries at?
Oh, they don't care about the people. Look at the Vatican. All they ever do is practice evil under the guise of good. That's all they've ever done.
And hide the truth of humanity.
Right.
They know that aliens visit us. Heck, they even reported the crash craft in Italy to the United States, and they don't come get pieces of it.
Yeah.
John Wilkes says spirituality and religion are confused. And he said, are those elite rituals involved with reptilians? Thank you, John Will.
Let me ask you guys this. What do you think secret orders are preparing for? Because they have to pump gas just like us. Do you believe that there's an actual Knights Templar that still survive and waiting to fight for the greater good of humanity? Or are they part of the corrupt system too?
They say the Knights Templars were the first Freemasons or the first Illuminati.
No, I don't think the Templar were the first Freemason. I'm going to tell you what got the Knights Templar, some of them slaughtered. You want to get into that?
Yeah, go on.
All right, because this goes into Freemasonry. All right, the Knights Templars, you had a lot of them that started mixing in and talking with, shorter example, the Moors, which was like an Islamic group of people. But the Moors knew astrology, astronomy, science, algebra. They ran Spain for over 800 years. They even ran parts of Europe too, right? Now, at this time, at the age of Knights Templars around, the only people in the kingdom that was smart and educated was the priest and the king. Everybody around them were peasants, right? So the Knights Templars started going out into the woods, meeting with these Moors to exchange information, which some of it was Freemasonry, some of it was astrology and stuff. And keep in mind, when you don't know something like high science and you're watching it and you're not well read, it could resemble magic, witchcraft, evil. So that's why you heard the rumor about the Knights Templars was practicing witchcraft and crazy behaviors in the woods. No, they was going and out in the woods and meeting and discussing what they learned from the Moors, all this science and astrology and stuff. And they started gaining knowledge and wisdom that could have overtook a lot of these kings that they were working for. So they got word that the knowledge that they were getting this information from, and they're like, hey, guess what? We have to put these Knights Templars down. We have to put them down. They know stuff that they're not supposed to be knowing, and we can't let them start teaching the public, because then the public will rebel against us. Mind you, it's always about control. Somebody got to be the bottom class, and somebody got to be the upper class. And that, as you saw, Friday the 13th came along, and they slaughtered the Knights Templars. They would never practice witchcraft. They were practicing what they learned from the Moorish sects, which also Masonry originally come from them. Freemasons come from them. It really come out of Egypt and then from the Moors and stuff. The Knights Templars got their hands on it, but they wasn't the originators of it. That's why you have to be, in order to be a Knights Templar, you have to work your way up all the way through the ranks. But guess what? You could become a Shriner first in Freemasonry before you become a Knights Templar, because they're the battleground of getting knowledge and information. And then when you become a Knights Templar, it just seals the deal, like the final trip of the degrees.
Now, as far as Freemasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be safe to say that most Freemasons are a part of the 1%?
Not at all.
No.
They're on the bottom.
They're on the bottom.
Yeah, they're on the bottom. I mean, the higher up you go up, there's 33 degrees, and there's some extra degrees that I found out about too. Even that I found out about higher degrees among Shriners and all that, and you know, the Jester degree and stuff and everything. But no, it looks like that, but they not. Because if you in the lodge and you get the 33rd degree, and you could be an auto mechanic doing that, right? You're still an auto mechanic. It's not going to change your lifestyle. You're reading from the same handbook that if the other guy's some high banker and you're the auto mechanic, both of you reading from the same handbook. Both of you know the same hand grip.
Well, part of that 1% is Freemasonry. So it must be in the whatever they do and whatever their rules and regulations are, must be in the same handbook, right?
It's in the same handbook, but the 1% that what makes the 1%, they just happen to select better career jobs that deal with people in power. That's what it is. They're like you got people in Congress and in the United States government that are that 1%, but it's because of the job they have, not them necessarily being a Mason. It's the job that they have. Because George Washington was made a Mason by his what they call that, the people that cut the grass, his gardener made him a Mason.
Yeah.
And he was the president of the United States.
John Wilkes says most Freemasons know nothing about Illuminati. Is that true?
You said most Freemasons know nothing about Illuminati?
Yes.
Yeah.
Illuminati was a small group of a secret society that came about to infiltrate Freemasons and other groups. The Masons were bigger than them, and they caught wind of who they was, and they banned them from their lodges.
And Dr. Vic Macross said, do Freemasons have their own Bible?
No. Freemason, because you don't have to believe in a religion, but they want you to believe in a God. Now, when you get the Shriner degree, I'm a Shriner too. When you get the Shriner degree, they use the Quran. That's why people say, well, them government officials, they practice Islam in secrecy. No, they're just Shriners. They're not necessarily practicing Islam. They just Shriners, and Shriner theme and the ritual, the knowledge are Islamic, but they're not Muslims, and they're not practicing Islam. They're just doing a ritual that's based on Islam. When you go through Eastern Stars, which I'm a part of too, and you go through the Amaranth degree, you go through a Jewish ritual.
Now, are there some Masons that are members of the Illuminati?
No. Because the Illuminati didn't have as much power as the Masons. They had a world agenda that they could never get off the ground. There's more Masons are the largest fraternal brotherhood in the world.
So if they're the largest, why is it the Illuminati itself that's in control?
I don't think the Illuminati is in control. I think that they had a moment where they tried to infiltrate the Masons and they got banished. I don't think the Illuminati is in control at all.
So who's in control?
David Nash said the original Illuminati were made to serve and protect the king. Who's in control?
Who's in control? I think that there's other government private entities, which we already saw Mr. David Grush say about the UFOs. That's more feasible than a secret Illuminati group, because those groups that's tied to like these hidden government groups that are funding to work on reverse engineering of alien technology and all that stuff. Those are the guys that's in control. Not somebody that let Puff Daddy off the handle or something. No, those are the guys that's in control because they're dealing with technology that could get us through portals into other dimensions. That's you're dealing with higher life form. That goes beyond anything that a Mason is capable of doing. What makes a Mason, huh?
The Illuminati every year they have a meeting, right? The Bohemian Grove.
Those are Bohemian Grove meeting, but that's not Illuminati though.
What is
Bohemian Grove is an old sect thing, but it's not. They're not Illuminati.
So what are they?
The Bohemian Grove?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're their own thing. They're their own thing. And they have a meeting where they come to discuss like world power and stuff. And you know, like things about the government and all that. Obama went to one his first year. He disappeared from like some award thing
and they hold rituals there too.
Oh yeah, but you know, rituals don't equate to Illuminati. Freemasons is the damn kings of rituals, man. There's a ritual for every degree, every handshake, every word, hand signal for this, that. I mean, before you even get out the dang second degree, there's already you probably done went over like 15 different handshakes and rituals.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I say that they're tied in there somewhere.
Who, the Illuminati or the Masons?
Both.
Well, you know, once again, like I said, like, for example, you could be a judge, right? And be a Mason. A guy comes in with a bad speeding ticket, he got a clean record, he's a Mason. What that guy do for a living, he might be a plumber, right? What makes the Masons powerful compared to the average person on the street, you'll walk in the courtroom and you can throw a certain hand sign up that nobody won't notice. But that judge will notice if he's a Mason. And he'll throw your ticket out. That's what gives the mystery of people saying, oh, the Masons got power. They got pull. No, see, the trick to Masonry is, A, you bring in men of good quality and background. So if all of us are good quality in nature and background, we're all Masons. We could look out for each other in different places. You might need a plumber, and you find out that I'm a plumber and you a Mason, I'm a Mason. I'll cut you a deal that your neighbor wouldn't get. I might have had a speeding ticket. I go to court. The judge recognized me because I'm standing a certain way, or I'm throwing hand signs up or something. And he'll go, oh, okay, Hilton's a good guy. I look at his record. He's a school teacher, or he's a whatever he is. I'll throw out his ticket. Heck, the cop will pull you over. The cop see the ring on your finger. He's a Mason too. And he might look in the window and see that you ain't got no guns, no drugs. And he say, all right, you might hit you with something Masonic. Where you hail from? And you just spit out real quick. And he'll look at you and just say, well, just slow it down, brother. And tap your window and walk away from your car. You drive off, no ticket. That's what gives us the power in places like that. So I say it goes back to, once again, somebody, let's just say the president of the United States, if they're a Mason. Well, that's a high-ranking Mason in the essence that he's a president, not because he's a Mason. He just happened to be a Mason in a high position. But that don't mean he outranked anybody in the lodge. You outrank people. Well, the highest degree is the third degree, but there's higher degrees than that. But I say that because the fact that if you're a Mason, and I could be a 33rd degree, and Obama could be a third degree, I might know a little bit more higher Masonic information than him, and I might outrank him in that area. But he's still the president of the United States.
Johnny's saying Masons are low level, but they are used on the low level. Let's go up to the top of this fiasco. So who's at the top?
These secret government entities.
Which I'm sure some of the Freemasons are part of.
Right, but they're not part of it because they're a Mason. They just happen to be a Mason. But they belong to it for other political, whatever secret stuff they are into, like it's because of whatever government ish that they are tied to. But it just happened to be the fact that they also, everybody in the government belongs to some type of fraternity, whether it's a college fraternity or a masonry or something. It doesn't mean you're Illuminati, it doesn't mean you're high rank because you are that. Maybe Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones, I would say, is the main one. Yeah, Skull and Bones, yeah, those are some high caliber guys.
So who, in your opinion, who's in control?
Secret government. I think what you see on TV with Joe Biden and Pelosi and all of them, they're just decoys. There's a whole nother government behind them, and they're
Right,
not like
exactly. And but who's running it though?
nobody knows. If we did, we'll be able to hold them accountable. But they do
You
exist.
like a shadow government. Like a shadow government.
Yeah, it's like a shadow government. Because David Grush said they exist, and that same shadow government is funding reverse engineering on alien technology, exploration on that technology. They're funding a lot of stuff. They probably had something to do with COVID leaking the lab. They have something to do with COVID vaccine being mass produced and forced on people. They probably have something to do with some of the wars that take place, and they're lying to us to say it's all religion, but there's something that they really want off these people land that we don't know about.
John Wilkes says the oath ends with these words. I don't know if you've heard them before, Cedric. I further promise and swear that I will not write, print, stamp, stain, cut, carve, mark or engrave them on anything movable or immovable, capable of receiving the least impression of a sign, word, syllable, letter or character, whereby they may become legible or intelligible to any person under the canopy of heaven, and the secrets of masonry be thereby unlawfully obtained by my unworthiness.
Absolutely. That's the first degree, your obligation.
Jean Marie McLaughlin says we have proof of treason, but nothing happens. Why?
Because money talks in treason. That's why. We're looking at it from a moral perspective. Treason take place because of financial. Money being exchanged, this program being created, this program being shut down. There's stuff going on. Even when you go into the military, you start to see things when you get up the higher level in the military that the lower guys don't know about.
And all these wars that go on, what are they about, really?
Well, I mean, the whole Israel thing is unique, you know, in itself, because what, Palestine was there before them. And then, you know, some people say that the people of Israel there aren't the real people that was there. They migrated there. I think the whole Israel thing, I mean, America, the powers that be, some of them really don't like Islam. They don't. That's evident. Let's be honest here. So, of course, they're going to rock with Israel when they're beefing with them. It's just that we live in a day and age where the young generation is saying, nah, I don't give a damn with that religious stuff y'all talking about. If Israel blowing up kids in Palestine, they're wrong. You know, the young kids today are different. The people that's protesting, they got a different perspective on even 9/11. They have a different perspective on. But what these wars are about, sometimes these wars are about because, you know, if I knock off this country, it makes the new world order a lot easier to take place. That's coming. The new world order is a real thing. Now that's coming. But we're going to have to knock off a few nations, take them over or merge them into us to become one. Think about this. What is the illegal migration is all about in the United States? We should be the greatest country in the world. How do as many people get across the border?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just got a phone call.
Oh, no, you good. I'll just say, like, look at like America with the mass migration, legal migration that's taking place. We should be the greatest country in the world. How that mean people get across the border? And what is that about on our soil?
Oh, well, you know what that's about.
There's a couple of theories about what's that about. Somebody's being replaced. Somebody's being replaced.
It's all about design. It's all by design. It's for a reason.
Some people hey, look, they're telling a certain group, we ain't rocking with you no more. We got a whole new pack that's about to be voting for us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, somebody's getting replaced. That's all it is. Why do you think they're getting houses? Why do you think they're getting a prepaid money card with $9,000 on it? Somebody being replaced. Because me and you don't have those money cards.
Oh yeah, well that's the U.S. is going to crumble from the inside out. That's what that's all about.
Well, do you think the U.S. is the U.S. still?
Well, no, I don't think it's ever been the U.S. I think it's been under the rule of the British Crown right along.
Yeah, a corporation.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I
why.
believe that.
That's why the capital is considered a district.
Ah,
District of Columbia, D.C. Right.
that's right.
It's not even a part of the states.
So, you know,
So
somebody
everything's an illusion.
goes back to disconnecting from the matrix. We need truth. We're going to have to start seeing things a little bit more deeper than what's being presented to us.
Right.
You know, like what's being presented, we're in a situation like this right now for humanity. Pick a hand, see which one has the red ball in it. And then there is no red ball in neither hand. But they got you sucked into the game of thinking if you pick a hand, one of them has a red ball.
Jean Marie McLaughlin is asking, do you believe Trump can fix this?
That goes back into keeping us on a sub level. You know,
I don't think any one individual can fix it.
no.
The only way to beat this is to get together as a collective, and that'll never happen.
It goes back to why I say, why is it not a human revolt? What you're witnessing in the most simplest form worldwide is an anti-human agenda.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's funny, you know, historically every great society that has risen has fallen, right?
Right.
But years ago you had kings, queens. You know, if the people weren't happy with the kingdom, they could revolt, overthrow the kingdom, right?
Absolutely.
But today we can't do that because not only is the enemy invisible, it's spread worldwide.
Well, yeah, and also with America, another reason why it would behoove us to end up being attacked on our soil and being in a world war is because if we go to war with Russia, we're fighting with Russians. Russians. They know their anthem, their history, they're proud Russians with their green clothing and giant airplanes. You know, you go to war with China, they know their history, their language, their food. You're fighting with the Chinese. America, man, look, we're more fragmented than a box puzzle, man. Jigsaw puzzle. There's no unison. We got a million different races. We got a million different political parties, a million different religions, 10 brand new genders in the last 4 years. I mean, you know, we're not in unison, man.
They talk about diversity.
Right. We're not in unison. Our diversity has worked against us. I think one of the big things America should have done was say, all right, we're going to deal with all race shit and everybody just an American now. There's not going to be no census about, you know, how many people on the job is Hispanic and black and white. Nah, motherfucker, you just American. That's it. That's it on the job. Everybody red, white, and blue. That's it. I don't know anything else you talking about. See, we didn't get in front of anything like that. We got everybody in a box, a little box here, a little box there. And that's why if we have a world war, we're going to get scraped. We're going to get brutally scraped. They have to bring the draft back.
Yeah. Midnight Rider says the bottom line is that the shadow government, also known as the deep state, is absolutely compromised or comprised of draconus reptilians. There is substantial evidence of this fact, and they've been in control for a long time.
I definitely believe there's some interaction. There's an actual federation with all other life forms out in space that have interacted with the government. I mean, that's definitely taking place. And I believe some of these reptilians might live in the center of Antarctica. And that's why they don't want us snooping around over there too much. What's on the other side of that wall? And why can't we go on the other side of the wall?
Yeah, well, obviously they're hiding something.
Oh, there's a lot of government experiments taking place. Hell, I still believe there's a Nazi branch that's still up there. But where do we go from here? You know, is the stuff we experience paranormal?
Well, you know, man is so intelligent, he's going to end up outsmarting himself. That's all I can say.
I think right now the last thing being used right now is intelligence. That's the last thing being used is knowledge and intelligence. I think that the mission of humanity.
Well, our knowledge and intelligence has brought us to the place where we're at right now.
There you go. I think that there's which is not a good place.
Exactly.
Right now. Yeah, we're not winning. The whole mission was to dumb down the people, which hence why you think they giving these phones to little kids and social media and stuff, and they're not reading history books. It's crazy.
You know, the balance is so far off right now, right?
Right.
That the only way that it can be reset is through something very major. Yeah. So in other words, like I was saying before, every great society that has risen has fallen. Our current day society is not going to be any different. The only difference there'll be is in the way it falls and with what intensity. So let's go beyond this, right? Say that the 1% are successful in their agenda, right? At the expense and sacrifice of 95% of the world population. Once all is said and done, we could describe a new beginning, right? A utopia. So if that were to occur, would you consider that once all is said and done, would that be a good thing or a bad thing?
First of all, it depends on the catastrophe, but I don't see any utopia coming out of anything anytime soon because the foundation of this world and
95% won't see it. That's for sure.
Yeah, but because the founder of this nation wasn't based on a utopia. I just think that, and I definitely see what you mean by that. I see what you mean by that.
Yeah. In other words, the world would be a much better place to live in, without a doubt.
Well, you're asking for a great reset.
Right.
Right. Now the $1 question, how that reset take place. Now, you know, me being a guy that loves to talk about aliens and stuff. Oh, I would love to see. I don't know. Let me not say that. I would be curious to see what would take place if there was an alien invasion.
Well, I think there's going to be a false flag invasion by the powers that be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what will come out of that? More fear?
Hysteria, yeah.
About religion?
Right.
Would the Vatican still have power at the end of the day if they false flag an alien invasion? And what that says about our concept of God and man?
Well, if there is a God, he created everything, which would include the extraterrestrials themselves.
We have the extraterrestrial create the theory of God.
Well, is God just a theory? That's the question. No one knows, right? I mean, who can answer that question?
Right. Or is man himself God?
They believe there's a higher consciousness.
Well, there's an essence. There's a universal energy. There's a source. That's what makes all things possible. You know, but I don't believe it's in control. The source allows for our existence. What we do with it is up to us.
Do you believe man has the potential to be godlike in nature?
Man is godlike in nature.
All right. That's what I want to get at. So if man is godlike in nature, that means where I'm standing, where you standing, we're the center of our own universe and we control our own world. Right?
Right.
So that means we have free will.
Right. Well, to an extent.
To an extent.
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, you know, they talk about all these black op programs with mind control and all that. If someone's connected to, say, a halo or something like that, and they're being mind controlled, there's no free will there. And therefore, there shouldn't be any judgment.
I was thinking the other day about the whole term free will, and I started thinking to myself, maybe free will means you have well, obviously free will is free will, but also it could mean you have accountability. We'll give you free will, but you also have to be accountable for yourself. And when you are 100% accountable for your actions, your ways and stuff, then in that true essence, you become godlike.
Well, now wasn't through the eyes of religion now death? Isn't death supposedly the debt we have to pay for sinning?
Depends on what religion you're talking about.
Well, I mean, if there's any truth to that, right?
Yeah, but all religions don't believe that. Just like all religions don't believe.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, you talk about being innocent or whatever. You're born innocent, right? You're born innocent into a sinful world. So if the price you have to pay for your sins is death, as far as I'm concerned, when a man dies, he's just as innocent as when he was born, because he's paying his debt in full.
Yeah, I guess that depends what type. Once again, what religion you're talking about. To some people, just see death as the cycle of life.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, you're born, you die, have nothing to do with sin. You're just born, you die.
Right. Nature is one never-ending recycling process.
Right. It's the cycle of life. Like when my father passed.
From day and night to from day and night, seasons to lifetimes.
Right. Like when my father passed away, I spoke at his funeral. I said, the cycle of life is taking place. I said, my dad became his dad when his dad passed away. Now that my father passed away, I have become him, meaning that I'm the elderly male now, and I have kids, of course. And then my kids will have kids, and I'll become the grandfather. I have become my dad.
Right.
I'm stepping in. I'm in his shoes now. Unfortunately, some people never get to that level of spirituality or maturity where they could hold that position down necessarily. So they don't complete the full cycle of life.
We often debate the laws of man and God, right?
Right.
While I think overlooking the most important laws of all, which are the laws of nature itself. I mean, where do the laws of nature play a role in all of this?
I think I look at nature as in what's natural and also what's outside. I think nature plays a role in a daily perspective of how we live our lives.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I think the human intelligence is actually a curse. For example, a cow grazing in a field would be more than likely satisfied by doing just that, grazing in a field. But man, due to his higher level of intelligence, will never truly be satisfied until he self-annihilates.
Would you say it's intelligence or a high level of ignorance?
Well, I think intelligence breeds ignorance. Right now you can have a colony of 90 billion ants. Right? They get along perfectly without any friction whatsoever, with a brain 1/1,000,000th the size of man's. What's man's excuse?
Those ants see themselves as ants. It goes back to what I said about us. We don't need to go into a world war.
Well, actually, the ants are better off than man is.
Exactly, because they understand their position collectively as a species as ants. We as humanity is so fragmented. We don't lost focus of our responsibility and obligation to each other as humanity, because we're all caught up. Go on Facebook. Everybody is caught up into their own shit, man. Everybody's in their own thing and stuff. Like I took a little break from stuff, and I see all these different conscious groups, and this person's this, and this person's that, and that person this, and this person that. And I'm like, God damn, well, how the hell the community ever supposed to come together if everybody got a million different ideologies? Everybody's a witch. Everybody's a Moor. Everybody's a Hebrew. Everybody's this. Everybody's fucking that. Like, well, damn, man, how my kid supposed to work with your kid to better the community and the nation? We can't, because everybody is.
Going back to what I said before. We have to come together as a collective.
Well, the ants right now are laughing at us.
That's right, and they should be. And they should be.
Freaking roach is smarter than us right now. For real, a roach is smart. Won't you understand? Got food. Bring it back to the greater good. Yum, 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 yum. You know, even though I stink.
Man is always trying to outsmart nature. See, man has this attitude that the earth belongs to him, when in reality, man belongs to the earth.
Right. So, you know, I think the human species is going to need a humbling experience. I think right now, what you see, the human species being tortured and gaslighted once again.
Oh yeah, but we're doing that to ourselves, though. See,
or the power is doing it to us.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know, if the majority want to be sleeping sheep and just look the other way and do nothing about it, they're just as responsible as those who are causing it.
Oh yeah, well, maybe we need a purge then. Those that willing to stand and fight for the greater good of humanity could stick around, and those that don't, we'll put them somewhere that nobody's not using, like Idaho.
Johnny B, I don't know if that's supposed to be Johnny B. Good, but he says, you guys are great. Thank you for that, Johnny.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Marie McCarthy says we were born to love and be kind when we started school.
Well, you know, I mean, that's good in theory, but if you look at the dawn of humanity, it's been nothing but fucking war and chaos. Even caveman,
always has been, yeah.
Dinosaur bones. Think about that. Then when we get in, I got a spear. I got stone. I got fire. Spear and fire.
Hey, you know, when they depict a caveman hitting the women over the head with a club, dragging them down the street by the hair.
Yeah.
That's fiction. That's fiction. You know why? You know why? Why? They used to carry them like six packs.
Oh man. Oh man. I had a thought real quick too when we talk about clubbing people over the head. Trump was giving a speech and he was talking about Nancy Pelosi. He goes, they walk into the house, beat her husband in the head with a hammer. How's that man doing, by the way?
Yeah, Bradley, your volume is low.
How's that man doing, by the way?
My device is overheating.
Your volume is low. I don't know if it's the device you're using, but we even got a comment here.
Yeah.
See, it says it right here. Lee Grantham says Brad needs to turn up his volume.
My devices are overheating.
Johnny B says Pelosi went to Gitmo.
I think if we get Trump back, I don't think we're going to have a world war. I think it'll just prolong the situation. Nobody's not messing with him if he get in office, man. Look what he did in North Korea last time he was in office. He told everybody you're going to shut up and fall in line. Yeah. Then he complimented them and said he was a good guy afterwards. That's what you need. Like Joe Biden, this is what you get out of Joe.
Yeah, it's time for his nap.
And then you got a Kamala. I'm running fast. That's what you get out of her. Like, and I think that shit was set up by, I think they put some people in office at certain time to create certain national catastrophes under them so they could control who's going to win for the next election. I'm starting to think that, actually, you know, it's like, okay, we're going to have a Republican in, then we're going to put a Democrat in, and we're going to have them suck huge monkey balls real bad. And then everybody that was a Republican is going to become a Republican, so Republican become the dominant party, and they're not going to vote Democrat next go around. I think something like that is actually taking place, you know? Like let's create a situation where we could like eliminate the Democrats, which I don't give a shit about. You know,
this is a presidential election year. This ought to be interesting.
Yeah, you think Biden's going to live long enough to see it come in?
Well, I don't know. Do you think he's going to get back in again?
If they put the yellow tape down on the floor for him, he could find his way back. Oh man! By the way, how's Nancy Pelosi's husband doing?
I don't know.
That was so funny, man. But I don't know, man. Like, we living in some real strange, funky time. Is it paranormal? I mean, there's paranormal things taking place out here. Yes, there's still mass demonic possessions taking place. They're talking about demons coming through phones and TV screens. Don't let them take their foot off the gas about aliens, because that shit is going to circle back around as what's going to nip us in the butt. Don't. They're creating all this illusion and stuff. For example, all right, you remember the boat that crashed into the bridge in Baltimore?
Yeah.
You know, now the FBI is saying that was a cyber attack.
Cyber attack.
Yeah. Which I knew that out the gate, because when you watch the video when it happened, the lights went on, they went out, the lights came on, they went out, and then the boat just made a sharp angle, you know, and crashed right into the beam that took the whole bridge down. Just sharp, boom, and took it down. Okay, do you know that the people on that ship is still on there?
Johnny B's asking what's in those containers in Baltimore on the ship.
They said explosives.
No kidding.
The news said explosive, and the people are still on the ship right now. You done had the police come out there with their boats and stuff, the Coast Guard. Why is it that these people, it says like over 25 or 30 something people still on the ship? Why they haven't gotten off the ship yet?
Yeah, really.
They got some new strand of COVID we don't know something about? And now, you know, they get ready to blow up the remaining part of the bridge to dump it in the water, which I thought that the whole goal was to get this bridge out the water because it has sharp beams that could rip through other ships traveling through. But they said they're going to blow it up, right? So they told the people, just go lock yourself in a room that's safe on the ship. Dude, if they have to lock themselves in a room on a ship to be safe, and if this explosion make this ship sink, how's that room going to prevent them from going under?
Well, I don't know. Johnny says destroy the evidence.
I believe that. And why is he 25 people on the ship? Because they know something that happened, and they won't let them talk to the public to tell the public what really happened that night. It's basic government bullshit. The first thing they said, it wasn't a cyber attack. Soon they said that, I said, it's a cyber attack. You remember that movie, World Left Behind, that was created by Obama? And that big oil tanker ship came out from the sea onto the beach by itself. They messed with it was a cyber attack. They messed with the GPS system and called for the ship to go on land. We saw the same thing with in Baltimore. That ship crashed purposely into the beam.
Yeah. It's all by design. That's that I'm sure of.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. If there's an alien invasion, do you think demonic forces could attack aliens?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know. If there's an invasion, we gotta be able to determine whether it's a false flag or an actual, you know, and that's a problem with the oven within itself.
Or fallen angels? You know, and that's what they actually
what about Lee Graham says, what about the barge in Galveston hitting the bridge and oil spill? Not familiar.
Where at?
What about the barge in Galveston hitting the bridge and oil spill?
I have to look into that one. I was trying to pull something up.
Johnny B says, sounds like a Black Swan event.
Well, you know, pretty much. But I'll tell you something. There was a guy on the news. I'm going to post it in the Hilton Live Paranormal News group. He was on the news channel on the Rise, I think it was, and they'll interview him. This was yesterday, and he was a priest, and they were interviewing the priest, and he said they'll ask him about aliens and are they from this dimension and are they fallen angels? And he said that some of the aliens that's been seen represent images of demons that's been reported. What do you guys think of that? You think some of the aliens are actual demons? I don't know if I quite believe that.
No,
I don't think so.
Demons are demons in their own. Demons were born from fire. Demons are born in their own right. You know.
Midnight Rider says. Midnight Rider says there's a video of the Baltimore Bridge collision, clearly showing explosions on points at the top of the bridge as each part of the bridge broke apart.
I believe that. And I believe that that ship turning at the last second, it made a sharp turn into like the beam on the bridge, triggered those explosions. And maybe they were hoping that the explosion would blow up the ship too and sink the ship because the ship had explosions on it too. So there was definitely foul play going on there. But think about this. If you would have said that, okay, this is a cyber attack or a terrorist attack, man, people would be in an uproar right now about riding across bridges. Just like when 9/11 happened, they distinctly said the night that the tower went down that they found explosives on the George Washington Bridge. And that's when they had the National Guard on the bridge and stuff. Why, I don't know. It's just more people falling into the water. But all of a sudden they came back and said, oh, well, we didn't report that. Yes, you did. I was in my dorm room in New York watching that when they distinctly said, we found explosives on the George Washington Bridge. We have the National Guard on there getting them right now.
Well, that wasn't terrorism. That was an inside job, period.
Oh, yeah, it just gave them a false flag excuse to go overseas and start up some malarkey over there.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, because they know they couldn't do it. America wasn't going to support a random invasion.
Right.
Overseas. So let's kill off 4,000 people in one day.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what they did.
One of the world's most prominent cities.
And I don't know how people can't see that and how they get away with basically wars against humanity. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, when money's involved, my friend, and people want oil and everything else, anything could go down. It doesn't matter what secret group you belong to, the almighty dollar always talk.
Crimes against humanity, and they get away with it.
Well, we have crime against humanity in the grocery store, at the gas pump, and housing. Yeah. You know, this is corporate greed at its finest. That's like pimp slapping mainstream society. And no one's saying nothing. No one doing it. But you go on the news, hey, man, it's the best economy.
You know, I live down here in Florida, right? And there's a FGUA, which is a water utility company run by Polk County, right? Which is the government, right?
Right.
So I own another piece of property here in Florida. It's been vacant for over a year. The water has been shut off totally, so they're not moving any sewage from the house. The house is empty. It's been empty for over a year. Zero usage on the water every month, and they send me a bill for over $76 a month, right? And wow. I don't pay it. I got them piling up right here. I mean, on what planet and in what universe is that even legal? I call and question them. They say, oh, that helps pay for our infrastructure. But they're providing zero service, and they're expecting me to pay $76 a month or $78 a month, whatever it is.
Well, that's like when you pay your taxes.
Now when I
pay taxes for these roads and streets, because I'm not getting no new service around here. I don't see any new yellow lines in the road.
So in other words, they want me to pay for zero service, $76 a month.
And so the raping of the public just
right. Now I'm an elderly guy. I'm 70 years old, right? So that's worse than price gouging.
Yeah.
So now I try to report that, right? I've contacted the Attorney General's office. I've contacted different other outlets. Nobody will touch it. You know why? Because it's government. It's like calling them and
On
trying to have them investigate themselves.
none
See,
of this
because that water utility is run by board members of Polk County. And what kind of business does the government have running a water utility in the first place?
Jan Marie McLaughlin says that's an association fee that you're paying, Jim.
Yeah, well, that's a very high association fee. I mean,
Yeah.
what kind of association? Association with what? Or for what?
Well, you know, that's like I'll tell somebody about a housing association for like your neighborhood. They add that on also on top of your taxes, your insurance, your mortgage. And I'm like, since when do you need to have every new housing development being built has a home association? For what? I don't want the whole point of me getting a house is so nobody don't tell me what the hell I got to do at my house. You know?
Right, exactly.
It's like we have to stop this, man. It's like, and we just accept anything they dish at us. Anything like, oh well, you know, it's for that. No, it's not for that. It's just them taking money.
Now this doesn't have anything to do with HOA because
right.
It is in a community, but the community, the HOA is only like $200 a year for like they call it road service and all that, right?
Right.
It's got nothing to do with that. That's separate. It's the water utility company that's run by Polk County itself. So I just I don't pay it. I refuse to pay it. I'd have to shoot myself in the head before I pay that bill.
It's just another way to take people and to take their funds. And, you know, it's not going to change it because what happens is I'm going to tell you something, what I noticed too, what they do with people. They'll plant agents. Like, for example, if we start talking about this and then all of a sudden somebody's like, oh, well, that don't really cost much. That's good for us to have that. And it's a counter to what's the truth is. So basically you end up gaslighting me and telling me like, well, maybe I'm lying. Maybe I really don't feel that, you know, maybe this is really not happening to me. And that's how you get the instability of people feel like they're going crazy in the world.
Lee Grantham says, just like your delivery fee on electricity is higher than your usage. Well, yeah, they have to make a profit. And I can see paying I can see paying a little extra every month for expenses, for infrastructure, but not like what they're doing. I mean, that's crazy. And to top it off, I've got an artesian well on the property that's tapped into the house, and that water's been shut off. And I've even told them to come get the water meter that I don't need it, and they won't come get it. I told them I want them to remove the meter off my property. They won't come and get it.
The world we live in, Jim. The world we live in.
Maybe I can start charging them storage for having it there.
Somebody text me right now. They asked me like, how do we overcome the madness in the world? Do you think meditation helps? And I think that meditation does help. I think calming the brain, calming your thought process.
That helps on a personal level.
Right. It defilters the anxiety.
Right. It helps on a personal level, but it'll never help
collective
with the madness of the entire world. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that if everybody starts healing and treating themselves individually, eventually it'll impact the greater collectively on a positive note?
Well, that's possible, but I mean, I don't believe there's much time left to do much of anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Something like that takes time,
Yeah, you have to talk about people getting sober, people wanting to change and go within and see all their curses and issues and wanting to fix things about themselves. It takes a lot. And it takes a lot for somebody to look in the mirror and say, hey, I need help in this aspect of my life.
Yeah, and the way they make it so tough for the majority of people to even survive I mean, who can do that? You know what I mean?
Right. Are you talking about like paying for counseling services and stuff?
Well, yeah. I mean, everything. I mean, the pressure of survival itself. I mean, they get you, they squeeze you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people are being squeezed right now, man. They're being squeezed, and then they turn around and tell them you're not really being squeezed.
So I mean, even if you want to try to not stress over it, it's hard not to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have to make the between eating lunch or putting gas in your car.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
I do believe, this is economical, and I do also believe some of this is some weird, funky spiritual energy too, like metaphysical energy that we're experiencing. Just don't give up, everybody, on manifestation, positive speech. Be realistic. You have to be realistic so you can know what your next move is going to be. Spiritually, mentally, and metaphysically, you have to be realistic. Don't be out here talking about you got $10 in your account and calling yourself a boss. You're the boss of being broke in your own universe. That's what you are. And that's all right if you're broke. Just be realistic that you're broke, so you don't go buying ish that you can't really afford. If you know you need a new apartment, don't worry about the iPhone 15. If your car is broke down and it died on you, don't worry about the iPhone 15. Take care of your priorities first. And get off of Instagram. That shit got funky energy coming through the screen at people at times. You thought Facebook was bad.
Well, that's why they allow everybody on the internet, see, because they can wire us any way they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and let me tell you guys something. Don't think that social media is not impacting how you communicate. If you post something and you come back 3 hours later and not one person saw your post, that's because Facebook is trying to say the people that follow you are not, they wouldn't like your post, so we're not going to show it.
Yeah.
So go back and post another post that might tweak your follower interest. And this what keeps you on social media longer.
Well, they like it when we use the internet because of the fact that not only can they keep track of us, but they can actually draw up psychological profiles by the sites we visit, the comments we make, the posts we post.
If you hit like on, yep.
That's what that's all about. It's all about, a part of the control.
Absolutely.
We're divided, and that is their goal.
Yeah, it's called divide and conquer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
While we're bickering amongst ourselves, they're laughing at us. You know what I mean?
And that's why they want to destroy TikTok too, because TikTok is like free range and no algorithm. And Facebook and Instagram and them hate that, boy. They're like, what? Free range? But you could just post and it shows up in a stream feed. You hit like if you want to. Facebook dictates who sees your stuff.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're in control. They want to be in control. Yeah.
Shadow ban is very real.
David Nash says, but even the ancients got together collectively and made beautiful megaliths.
Can barely hear you, Bradley.
Oh, okay.
Did you change your device or something?
No, yeah, my device overheated. Okay. Is it, what are you doing, Jim? I'll even get another device, or are you calling it a time?
What is it?
What are you going to do, Jim? Shall I get another device or not?
Well, I don't know. It's already the bottom of the second hour. I guess we can close it out.
Okay, all right.
And I want to thank you, Dedrick, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Did you guys see somebody bet on me earlier? Oh, that's dirty.
Yeah. That was Bradley. Yeah.
Nah, man. If I keep coming on, I'm coming on, baby.
We'll have you on again.
Yeah, man. And more episodes of Hilton Live Paranormal News is coming, guys. I just have to do some technical rerouting stuff, and I'm working on some new intros or whatever. And I'm still here, still doing the same thing. If you follow me in my group, I still post weekly about topics and stuff because Bradley be in there hitting it up, Vic be in there. So I'm still here.
Yeah, and keep in touch. I'm locked out of my main profile, Jim Andre, so I'm under Warden. I'll send you a friend request.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Please do. We got more shows. Time here. We need to do some more cool shows.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that way we can stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, and I'd like to thank everybody that interacted with us. And we'll see you all again on the next one.